Afternoon, everybody. Evening, whatever time of day it is your way. It's Jerry Siddhartha here, Jay Hartha, for another installment of Steering Wheel Chronicles. Yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about the true prerequisite for almost any and every topic there is. And that is conditioning. I know I said a couple weeks ago I'd be covering this topic throughout the few weeks that I'm covering multiple topics. And so I don't know why it took me so long to get to this one, when really it should have been one of the first, but not dwelling on that for too long. Conditioning, for lack of a better term, is one of the most impactful and omnipotent entities there are on this planet. It is one of the strongest and maximum influencers. Yeah, you hear that in the background. It's at the park, whatnot. But anyways, so yeah, it's one of the maximum influencers. It dominates, basically, and it dictates a lot of what we do. It dictates how we respond to things, how we think. It comes from the media, our parents, our environment, our peers. Socialization in general. Is all plays a key factor in conditioning. And the way we've been conditioned to be, think of it as just being the way you're raised. If your parents tell you something your whole life, and so now it's in you, that's pretty much conditioning. Now, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like, conditioning is very much like propaganda. The only difference is that conditioning can be more positive than propaganda can. Because it's just something that's basically being berated in your head over and over and over, so that it's something that'll become a part of you. But conditioning makes social issues and so on and so forth so hard to advance a lot of the times, because they conflict with a lot of people's personal views. Like, if somebody's not really well versed in certain areas of ethnic and diversities or women's rights or LGBTQ or all this other good stuff, they're going to go to what they know. And what they know is what they've been conditioned to believe. And what they've been conditioned to believe may not be that open in perspective and point of view. And so they will adamantly, oppose certain views without truly understanding this view, because they've been conditioned not to. It's like Christianity and homosexuality. Christianity, people who have used Christianity have used it to belittle and demonize homosexuals, when there are so many sins in the Bible that are emphasized just as equally, but yet homosexuals are the ones who are demonized. So a lot of Christians look at homosexuals as just being point blank wrong, not being open to understanding, and not trying to understand the plight, because of the fact that they've been conditioned to believe that this aspect of a person is wrong, point blank, period. Conditioning follows like every level of life in that way. Like I said, it's not always negative, but it can be very problematic. So when trying to understand somebody and their point of views, and trying to understand, other aspects of life, that's one of the challenges we face, and one of the things we have to overcome is we have to acknowledge what we've been conditioned to believe versus, everything else. Is it possible that I could be wrong about this? Is there a chance that there is something about this that I'm not looking at the right way, because I have been conditioned to believe this way, that way, so on and so forth? Because really, conditioning is the most OP point ever. It's like the best cop-out. Point blank, period. It's like, if you tell somebody, oh, I've been conditioned to do blah, 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 no one can really get around that. It's really, you have to open your mind. You have to be willing to be open enough to try to understand other things. Even things that are controversial, even things that at the end of the day you still won't agree with. Instead of being hateful and spiteful and all this other stuff. And I emphasize these points simply because of the current era we're in and all the things we're going through. Like I said, conditioning doesn't have to be bad, but, a lot of the issues that we're having is because people have been conditioned to believe one thing and have not been open enough to believe others. But, anyways, I'm about to go off on a tangent, and I wanted to make this video shorter, and it's sort of. Anyhow, this has been Jay Hartha, Jerry Siddhartha, Steering Wheel Chronicles, and I'll catch y'all again later, guys.